What's up, you guys? It's Levi here. Welcome to the Cybersecurity Education channel, where I teach you guys cybersecurity concepts to help protect yourselves so that you guys don't get involved in a terrible cybersecurity incident. Holy smokers, guys, February flew by and it's March and I got my fishing hat on and I got my fishing reel, and you guys know what that means. It's time to talk about the top phishing scams in February of 2020. For those of you that are new to this channel, each and every single month I talk about the top 3 phishing scams from the previous month to help you guys learn what the latest phishing trends are so that you can see what happens if you fall for them, and then most importantly, what you guys could do to help protect yourselves from falling from these phishing emails and becoming a cyber attack victim. I do this each and every single month because I want you guys to have essentially a vaccine from watching all these videos, getting the email content in your mind so that when you see an email, you automatically know, hey, this looks like a scam. I watched enough of Levi's videos. This looks really suspicious from what he's told me in the past and what I've seen. So that's my goal. If you guys don't know what phishing is, or you want to know more about phishing, you guys are in luck. I just did a video not too long ago talking about everything that you need to know about phishing. I'll put a card up above for you guys to check that out, and I'll put a link down below in the description if you guys want to check that out. Alright, so the first phishing email that I'm reeling in for the month of February is a really crazy story about some home buyers in San Diego, California that lost $775,000. You heard that right, $775,000 to a phishing scam. The source for this info is from NBCSanDiego.com. I'll post a link down below in the description if you want to check that out. There's actually a video where the couple talks about how they got scammed. It's pretty interesting. I'd like to put clips in this video, but I don't have the software for it, and I'm not sure if I can legally do that. So you might want to check out that link after you're done watching this video. So what happened? How does somebody lose $775,000 in a phishing scam? Well, here's the story. A couple went to go buy their dream home. They got a fake or a phishing email that they thought was from their escrow agent, but they didn't notice the email address ended in .corn instead of .com. If they were Cornhuskers fans, they would have noticed this immediately, because anytime Cornhuskers fans see corn, they get excited, right? All kidding aside, so a real person from their escrow company actually sent them an email about the info for their escrow, but it was not in a secure email. So because it was not in a secure fashion, hackers were able to intercept that email and then use that information that they got from that email to send that couple information on how to wire money to buy the house. So of course the couple was super excited. They wanted to buy their house. They didn't pay attention to the email because they were so excited, and they followed the hackers' instructions and wired that money, and boom, they lost $775,000 because they didn't pay attention to the details in the email, because the escrow company sent their escrow information unsecured, and also because the bank failed to detect any problems in the 3 checks that they had before allowing that money to be wired to the attacker. You know, it's really bad luck, and I feel really bad for this couple. There was some obvious signs inside of that escrow statement. The escrow statement had BitCross written inside of there, and the bank, through their 3 checks, should have saw that in there and realized, hey, this is a scam, because BitCross, it's digital currency commonly used in scams. So it's too bad that the bank didn't catch that. Unfortunately, there were so many things in this situation that just went wrong for the couple, but the couple only had to take one step for themselves to be able to save themselves $775,000. All they had to do was use their mind and think. I always preach on this channel, think before you click. Take the actions, take the time, go through your head, check the sender, check the formatting of the email, check the grammar and spelling, hover over links, things like that. If the couple would have done this and looked at the sender address, they would have realized it said .corn instead of .com, and they could have saved themselves a whole lot of hassle. And the point I want to make in this video about this situation is this is why it is so essential. It doesn't matter what email you're opening, you always have to think before you click, especially if you're spending tons of money. If you're spending $775,000, you should be reading that email 20 times before you send that money, because that's a terrible amount of money to lose. So always think before you click. This is a good example of why you should always think before you click. Also, if you're involved in an escrow company or any type of organization that has to deal with financial information, send it securely. I mean, come on, escrow companies. Use a secure email or post that information in a web portal for your customers to see, so that situations like this can't happen to your customers. All right, so obviously the situation was really bad luck for the couple. I feel bad for them. If you guys know this couple, send them on over to my channel to watch my monthly phishing emails that I come out with, and hopefully by watching this they can help protect themselves from falling for these incidents in the future, because that's the goal of this video series that I come out with every month, is to help protect you guys from falling for phishing scams like this that could cost you thousands and thousands of dollars, by giving you information on the latest phishing trends and what you guys can do to help protect yourselves, so hopefully you don't fall for them. All right, it's time to reel in the number 2 phishing email for February of 2020, and this one is pretty hard to catch actually. It's a credit card fraud verification scam email. I got credit to bleepingcomputer.com for giving me the information. I'll post the link down below in the description if you want to check it out. So most of the time when you have fraud happen on your credit card is proactive, and it'll send you an alert with a fraud prevention email or a text or a phone call, or sometimes all of those, right? Well, in this situation, a hacker copied and faked a fraud protection email, and the email that's saying that you've had credit card fraud committed is actually the fraud itself. So let's take a look at this. So you can see this email is from American Express. It says, "Dear customer, we're letting you know that we've detected some unusual activity on your American Express card on 2/9/2020. For your security, please verify the following transactions so that you can continue to use your card." It lists off 3 different transactions. There's one from Square Cash App for $223.49, one from Top Up BV, I have no idea what that is, and then one from Best Buy for $124.59. And then you can see it says, "Yes, I recognize all of these transactions. Yes, we'll make your card immediately ready to use again." Or, "No, I don't recognize one or more of these transactions." And then by clicking no, it will allow you to complete a verification process and file a fraud claim online or in mobile banking. And then it's not only just American Express. You can see from the email here, they're using Chase in a similar situation. It's pretty much the same email, it's just Chase. So these emails are pretty convincing because they follow a standard practice. If somebody's committing fraud against you, you generally get an email or a text or a phone call, right? And they look pretty good. The grammar and spelling is great. And most people are going to react and say, "No, I didn't buy this crap. I've never been to BH or whatever it was in my entire life." And so they click on no, not thinking. It gets a reaction. And then what happens when you fall for it is you get a page like this. As you can see, there's a login form. It wants you to log in, and then you can see that your Chase account has been suspended. You have to start your account verification, and then click next. So of course, all you gotta do is sign in and verify some information so that you can get your account unlocked and get those fraud transactions taken off, right? Well, unfortunately, once you do that, that's not the real website for Chase, and boom, the attacker has your login information to log in, and more than likely in the verification process, you give them all the information that they need to take over your credit card account and do whatever the F they want with your credit card and buy whatever they want. So if you take this action, just please tell them to buy me some Husker tickets while they're at it. So how can you guys protect yourselves in this situation? This email can be very difficult to detect because obviously your emotions are up because fraud has been committed against you, and nobody wants fraud committed against them. Well, like I've talked about before, always think before you click. Take that time to think before you click. It doesn't matter what email you get. Think. So the first thing you're going to look at is the sender. Is the sender address even coming from AmericanExpress.com or Chase.com? If not, that should automatically be a red flag that this is fake. Checking the spelling and grammar, making sure everything looks legit, making sure it looks like a legit fraud email. Obviously in this situation that wouldn't work so well because the spelling and grammar was on par and it looks like a legit fraud email. Another thing in this situation is if you normally get a text or a phone call as well, that should be a red flag because you only got an email. You should be asking yourself, why didn't you get a phone call? Why didn't you get a text? That should be a red flag. And then also, make sure you're hovering over links before you click them. So as you can see here, the link on the page that you would have went to log in is some weird thing .stiaz.net. It's not chase.com or americanexpress.com, so that would automatically be a red flag that, hey, this is not legit. And then if you forgot to hover over the link and you clicked on that anyway, you always want to check that address bar up at the top and make sure that the link looks legit as well, especially if you're going to be typing in sensitive information or logging into a login page. And then finally, the last thing that you can do to help protect yourselves is making sure that every single account that you can, you're turning on two-factor authentication. So that way, if you sign into a web page like this and the attacker does get your username and password, they can't get any further without getting your second factor, and that's going to be very, very difficult for them to get. Now obviously if you entered your social security number and other informations in the verification process, they might be able to recover your account anyway. But if it was just a login screen, the attacker would not be able to do very much because they would need that second factor, and it would be much, much, much harder for them to hack your account. And then finally, when in doubt, if you're seeing red flags and you're not sure, contact your credit card company directly on the number on the back of your card. Tell them what's going on, and they'll be able to help you out and verify whether fraud was actually committed. All right, so it's time to reel in the third phishing email from February of 2020, and it's tax season, and you know that we have to do a phishing email about tax fraud, right? So the source of this information is from believingcomputer.com. I'll post a link down below in the description if you guys want to check that out. This scam is a tax scam that involves a W-9 form. So as you can see from the image here, the title says signed W-9 Anthony. And then it says, hello Anthony, thank you for your help. Please see the attached Kevin. And so it has this W-9 document attached. You just need to open up the W-9 and sign it and send it back, which is actually very common for businesses to send these out to their clients, their independent contractors, and other people that they're doing business with, because these groups of people need to fill out this W-9 to get paid, I believe. And it's pretty standard for an organization to send out an email like this, have somebody sign it, and then send it back. So I'm guessing a lot of people will fall for the scam. So if you fall for the scam, what would happen if you clicked on that attachment? Well, here's what would happen. You get this Word document that says this document was created in OpenOffice. To edit this document, click Enable Editing button from the yellow bar above. Once you've clicked Enable Editing, please click the enable content button. And for those of you guys that have watched any of my phishing emails from previous months, you know that you should never, ever click that enable content button unless you're 100% sure that you need to click on that. Because if you click on that enable content, what's going to happen most of the time, and what will happen in this email, is you'll download malware on your system that will do whatever the F it wants to your system and wreak havoc. The malware can spy on you through your webcam, through your microphone. It can put ransomware on your machine so that you have to pay to recover your files. It can destroy all of your files and make your machine unusable. It can transfer data to the attackers and they can use that data to commit fraud against you. All terrible, terrible things. Don't click that enable content button unless you're 100% sure. And when you see an email like this, where the Word document or the Excel document is saying you must click on the enable content button and there's nothing else there except that, that's a huge red flag that the email is probably a scam, because there should be other content in the background besides just telling you to click up on the bar up at the top and enable the content. So that's one tip that you guys can do to help protect yourself. What are some other tips? Are you even expecting a W-9? Do you even know what the heck a W-9 is? If you don't, then just ignore the email. Because if you don't know what it is, why would you do anything with it? Obviously, we talked about this one in the past. Do you recognize the email address it's coming from? Have you had previous correspondence with that person? For instance, if the email is coming from iowahawkeyes.com and you're expecting it from gobigred.com, why would you ever do anything with it? Obviously, another thing we talked about is grammar and spelling errors. Does it contain grammar and spelling errors? Does it look out of ordinary? So if you're getting W-9 emails like this on a consistent basis, does this look like something that you would normally get when you get a W-9 email? All right, and then finally, as I've talked about in this video and previous videos, make sure that you're always thinking and using your head before you click, and it can help save you in situations like this. So that's what I got for this month. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And also, make sure that if you like this content and you found it beneficial, make sure you're smashing that like button, hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hitting that notification bell so that this content gets promoted up on the YouTube algorithm so that more people like you can help protect themselves from phishing emails and cybersecurity incidents. I thank you guys so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.